Jaguar Land Rover's fledgling performance and personalization arm, Special Vehicle Operations, has already established a reputation for vehicles of uncouth charm, notably the shrinking Violet Range Rover Sport SVR and the deeply talented, really quite loud F-Type SVR. Now it's turned its gaze to the crown jewels, the Range Rover, and written itself a trickier and contradictory brief, to up both the dynamism and the luxury of the world's favorite four-wheel drive land yacht. In the process it's also built the fastest, most dynamic Range Rover yet and, it hopes, a 133,000 pounds, 155 miles per hour reason not to buy a Bentley Bentayga. Isn't the Range Rover Sport SVR Land Rover's performance SUV? Well, yes and no. Apparently the problem with the Range Rover Sport SVR is simply that it isn't a full-sized Range Rover. There's a merry band of buyers keen to be seen in the flagship Range Rover but keen also to travel up front, at the wheel, rather than in the back. Key markets will be US, the Middle East, the UK and, to a lesser extent, Europe. The car should also go down a storm in China, despite the 5.0-liter supercharged liability under the hood. The SVAutobiography Dynamic simplifies the top-end Range Rover wheelbase issue, too. It uses the standard wheelbase, 2,922mm between the wheels, while all non-dynamic SVAutobiography Range Rovers are long wheelbase. So what's so dynamic about it? The SVAutobiography Dynamic sits a little lower over its wheels than the standard car, as befits a machine designed to be a little more adept at speed on challenging roads, and has had numerous changes wrought upon its suspension setup in an attempt to increase body control without sacrificing ride comfort. Spring rates are comparable to the standard cars but damping rates have been ratcheted up and the car's hydraulic anti-roll system recalibrated. The steering rack is a lower ratio unit from the Range Rover Sport, which grants quicker responses, though it's kept from feeling too sharp courtesy of the bigger Range Rover steering wheel. A Brembo brake setup promises power with staying power, while the wheels are unique 21-inch or 22 inches, nothing less. But perhaps the most dynamic part of the package is the familiar and riotous powertrain, that smooth, spectacular and sonorous supercharged V8, hooked up to ZF's 8-speed auto gearbox and driving through all four wheels. The engine's been recalibrated for duty here, with manners you won't find in the Range Sport SVR, but still it has a life all its own and an undeniable charm. For an inanimate collection of castings and parts it feels dangerously like a partner in crime. Its sheer performance lends the whole rig a turn of speed entirely at odds with its size and weight, while its voice, nicely muted on the cruise but full-blooded and a little naughty under duress through the Dynamic's quad pipes, feels beautifully judged. A winner then? It depends what you're after. Increasing dynamic performance and luxury is all but impossible and so it's proved here. The suspension tweaks have introduced a harshness absent in the standard car, the setup struggling for answers when interrogated by broken urban pavement or rough country lanes. For some that'll be unacceptable in a Range Rover, you may agree. The payoff is undoubtedly a little more control mid-corner, reduced body roll and the confidence to carry speed rather than to brake hard ahead of a daunting sequence of bends. But the SVAutobiography Dynamic is no Bentayga in that regard, with plenty of unchecked movement should you get punchy with your inputs to brakes and wheel. The Range Rover can't match the Bentley's spooky, iron-fisted resolve when you're in a hurry, just as the supercharged V8 can't match that W12 for response and sheer reach. But the two feel like answers to subtly different questions.